Hello, guys. Welcome back. For some reason, the microphone seems to not be working too good, so I hope you're hearing my voice. This is another one of those doing it before I do anything else things. I had an Odin dream. Let me explain. Last night, I knew it was time to start letting go of stuff because, one of the things we do as pagans, and as we do as humans in particular, is we get stuff connected to a god, right? And we think that represents our bond. We think it strengthens our bond. It's kind of totemic, whatever. So I got all the books on Odin that I'm aware of. Most of them. I kept American gods, but that's because every other god in history is in there. And I put them all in the garbage. And it was fine because I don't like these books. A lot of these books either have what I found to be downright bad information or just something about the old man. I could feel his kind of sinister, slippy energy in these books, even if they were written to be really super nice. It was just, I was feeling what Odin ultimately is. I took down anything that I was facing. I took down his older stuff over here. I have yet to dismantle this altar. That's going to be a project for today. I took down all this stuff and it was really hard and it was breaking my heart. And I'm like watching stuff about how to let someone go, like in the Buddhist sense, and how to let them go and see them having been a teacher. I go upstairs, I'm working with the others, I'm working with the demons, and it's hard. Your first night without that god is really hard. And I have dreams this morning because I'm shutting off the radio because it's finally starting to get on my nerves and it's not helping me sleep. And Odin is standing in front of a church and he's looking at me real happily and he's pointing Gungnir at it. And he can't get into that church, alright? And he wants to get into that church to destroy it, just to make ourselves clear. Odin isn't going to meet Jesus. He wants to go into that church to meet it. And it's this huge stone church with this huge wooden door. He wants to get in there to destroy it, and he can't. The doors are closed to him. And which they should be, because we all know how he talks about God and Jesus. And he wanted me to open the door for him because I had the ability as a human to let him in so he could go destroy things. And I'm just looking at him in absolute horror, and I'm standing like quite a distance away, and he keeps repeating the gesture, swinging Gungnir towards the door, like open the door, begging like a little child and trying to look real cute and charming because he wants to get in there and destroy shit. And I'm like, no, I'm not opening the door for you. God is smart. God has the door shut in your face. I'm not opening the door. Why don't you see if Jesus will come open the door? Because he won't. So it was a weird dream. And I get up and I tell Loki, and he goes, that sounds about right. And I said, what am I supposed to do? I'm like getting rid of books and I'm doing all this other stuff. And he said, well, it's going to take time. I said, that's because he groomed me and everything. And we've talked a lot. And it definitely feels like when you have a relationship with Odin, he's grooming you. He's grooming you towards whatever end he wants, and in the end, he wanted me to go down a rather dark path, and I refused and rebelled, and that's why we're not working together anymore. And Odin can be very seductive about going down a really dark path. He can make it sound reasonable and in your favor, and something that will profit you, and your logical mind is shouting that not only will it not profit you, but it's going to hurt you, and you know it's morally wrong, and what the hell are you doing? So, yeah, don't work with the old man. Don't work with the old man whatsoever. There are a lot of people, though, who tell fluffy, light stories about him, and I don't know if they met someone else who was masquerading as Odin, or he can keep that act up for a tiny bit of time. He can keep that act up for, like, say, one encounter. He can be charming old Oski when he feels like it. He was trying to be charming and cute. He went into that church to destroy everything that it stood for, and it was not in a let's go destroy all the bad in the church way. It was let's go destroy God way. He wanted it in that church, but he couldn't get in on his own. I'm like, is this interesting? There are a lot of gods that are just as strong, if not stronger than you, huh? he couldn't get in there without human assistance. So I'm like, this is interesting. So I looked at Loki and I said, at least it kind of made me feel better. I'm sorry he's such a horrible god, but I'm happy that, at least this dream showed me he doesn't even have the power to open up the doors of a church and walk right in. And I said, you know who can do that? Satan. We were laughing. And I prayed to Satan and Lucifer this morning. I said, I'm clearly going to need extra protection until I can get this stuff down. A lot of the stuff is going to be left because I happen to like wolves and stuff, but any like statuary for him and stuff is going to come down. It's not being thrown out right now. I'm throwing the books out because, like I said, I have issues with the books. And if you have issues with books, and you truly feel they're harmful, for me, it's not ethical to pass them on, or I normally would not throw out books. But with a statuary, I'm like, look, if something happens and he consistently would come through as a kinder god, as this different thing other than what he truly is, then we would think about it. And I can also repurpose some of this stuff, so, so if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry if that wasn't my very best, but I had like exactly one sip of coffee and wanted to get this down. I'm really not all that sorry it didn't work out because they say you get all your teachers for a reason. So maybe I got Odin for the reason that, I was groomed half that way being raised, what my father was like. But it doesn't mean you have to become what your environment was, because my mom was also pretty wonderful. And I try to lean that way because I know that's the right way to be. Even though my father consistently portrayed it as weak, I'm like, well, then good, I'm weak. So I will see you guys later. Bye bye.